Hi guys, I'm Jam Man, and this is Skills 2.0 just dropped, and I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't creaming myself at the idea of Payday 2 inspired build paths. Out of all games ever, Payday 2 had my favorite build generation method. Perks and skills lead to a lot of combinations to comb through, and as a hyper-focused TISM haver, that was amazing. So, while Payday 3 doesn't have perks, I'm still very happy at the addition of skill trees. Anyway, Payday 2 glazing aside, Payday 3's skill system boils down to about 4 independent systems. This will be from an overkill player's perspective, so if you play on lower difficulties, that's fine, but some of this won't really apply to you as much. The gun you pick is by far the most important choice you can make. You have 3 good options, and assault rifles are also there, I guess. So take your pick between SMGs, shotguns, and snipers. Each have their drawbacks. SMGs will run out of ammo. Shotguns supposedly have limited range, and snipers are weird. We'll get back to that. I would like to preface this by saying I love assault rifles in Payday, but I could just not get it to work. Damage feels horrible. It takes so many shots to kill that ammo funnel feels more like a suggestion than infinite bullets, and I feel like I'm really not getting the fantasy that assault rifles sell in Payday games. So I won't be covering this very much, because I really don't know what to do with them. SMGs are very fun, but damn, do they run out of ammo. If you're not yet careful, you will just not have any bullets left. You will need to run ammo bags. But other than that, they shred armor and cops like nothing. They turn dozers into a fine mist. The accuracy is good enough to not be a problem most of the time. The only times you really have issues is when you're dealing with really far away snipers, and even then, if you just wait for the accuracy to reset, you'll be fine. And they're just really fun to use. SMGs deal bonus damage to armor with each SMG skill that you have. And with Cracked Ace, upon breaking armor, the cop will take 30% increased damage to all sources. Technically, this buffs other people's damage to them as well, but it doesn't really matter because by this time, they're already dead. And they can basically kill any cop. So if even once you get to the late stages when you have the juiced up final push cops, you're going to turn them to mist anyway. And that's before SMG Genius. You will gain a 5% damage buff with SMGs every time you reload with an empty mag. This stacks up to 20 times for a total of 100% damage increase. Just double damage on the meat grinder. Once you get to 20 stacks, you cannot refresh this, so it will go back to 0, but you can manage. Like I said, you're already dealing a shit ton of damage before SM Genius, so it's okay. Shotguns are a good option for anyone wanting to put a hole behind the cop you're aiming at. The damage is frankly insane. If you have DLC for FSA 12 gauge or M7, you will kill anything from close to mid-range. With calling shotgun aced for every skill you have on shotties, you gain a tighter pellet spread and lessen damage fall off, which would just normally be kind of nice if it wasn't for Annihilation aced. Annihilation makes having perfect accuracy on shotties a small problem. For each pellet that hits the same target, deal 10% more damage. Couple this with... oh fuck, I forgot what it's called. Couple this with point blank, and you're dealing an extra 60% bonus damage anytime they're within 3 meters. You can guess how fucked that is the second you're aiming at a dozer at point blank range. You will just you'll break the mask basically instantly, and their head is always one shot after you get through the armor. So yeah, they're not really that much of a threat to you anymore. And with Speed Loader, you have literally constant uptime because your reloads are 70% faster. It's pretty strong. Yeah, so now you have a one-shot arm cannon that nukes any cop in range, and you have range. And there's no downtime. The ammo efficiency is really fucking high. you don't have to worry about any of the tankier cops. You get the point. Boomstick hurts. Moving on. For those of you with a still intact brain, you remember me glossing over snipers earlier. That's because they are different from everything else. For some unknown reason, Payday 3 devs decided snipers and marksmen were to be given glorious, beautiful, infinite scaling damage. In Payday 3, every time you get a headshot with head games aced, you gain 10% damage buff to marksmen and snipers. This isn't for other headshots. This is just in general. This is supposed to be balanced out by losing a stack every time you miss. But assuming you can aim like me, you'll be fine. And then you get to do silly things like this. Now, as you can tell, I'm purely logical and have absolutely no bias whatsoever. But marksmen are the best gun 300%. Nothing else gets to one-shot every enemy in the game at all ranges with perfect accuracy and no ammo problems. It's so fucking broken. I love it. The only drawback is that you will be starting with 0 stacks. From my experience, after around 8 to 9 stacks, you'll one-shot headshot the SWAT cops, and around 10 to 12, you'll one-shot headshot the beefy fuckers towards the end of the game. By then, you should have plenty of time to stack up, though, so it's fine. Unfortunately, anytime you swap weapons, or place a deployable, or get downed, you will lose all of your stacks. It doesn't say this on the skill, but it does happen, so don't switch weapons. Watch out for cloakers. It only takes your stacks after it finishes beating you into the fucking ground. So if your friends are good at the game, you're fine. But yeah, probably just take Bastion to be careful. Allows you to just instantly get cloakers off of you. And probably place your deployables at the start of the game. It's annoying to have to go back to them to get your shit, but infinitely better than having no stacks late game. You will not deal damage. It sucks. Grenades are very useful. They can clear rooms, give dodge while blinding you, stun lock cops, or stun lock cops differently. Frag's definitely the most consistent, as the scavenger skill allows for constant uptime on throwables, and honestly, I don't get the point of most of the other grenades. With all the skills they give frag that increase damage and make them cluster bombs, you can just throw 2 out of your constantly regenerating like 8 grenades, and you'll clear the entire room. The only thing that'll be left is dozers, because they just don't take damage from grenades. Shock grenades are, in my opinion, the only other option. They basically allow you to just turn off a choke point, minus dozers who are also CC immune, and constant stuns are very useful for very obvious reasons. Smokes are weird. Like, if you're running a dodge build, then you get to have around 60% dodge while in the smoke. But also, you're blind. Like, absolutely blind while in the smoke. You cannot see. It's good for objectives. Like, just throw the smoke on your objective or downed ally, and then you can save them without tanking a shit ton of damage. But it's not like Payday, where objectives take forever to do. I think Payday 3 objectives interact a lot faster in general, so objective-based skills are less required. And you can just like dance around the edge of the smoke so that you can see forward, but you can also take your dodge buff. But then you have the issue of not being able to see behind you. Like, you just don't know what's behind you other than audio cues. So having a dozer show up behind you without having any prior knowledge other than the audio cue you heard like 30 seconds ago before he kicks you in the back of the head and you get stunned and pushed out of the smoke, so you lose your dodge, and then he just shoots the fuck out of you, is kind of bad for your health. So yeah, smokes wouldn't necessarily recommend, but like they do have their use case. I don't I don't get the point of flashbangs, honestly. Because you could just take shocks, right, if you want stuns. And I get the point of the flashbang is that it's instant and it's in a bigger area and it shreds armor and all that. But if you want to shred armor, then shouldn't you just take frags because then they're dead? And stunning is fine, but you're most likely going to be using a flashbang when you want to like push. So you're in a small area most of the time, so you don't need the extra range. So like either just take shocks or take frags. Because stunning is great, but if the cop is dead, they don't get back up. So deployables are pretty straightforward most of the time, at least. Health gives health, armor gives armor, ammo gives ammo. Armor also allows you to take 2 bags and deflect cloakers, so that's very useful. Medic will give you a bigger max health, and ammo gives you more throwables and some pretty big damage buffs on your next mag after using the ammo bag. You get 50% bonus damage and a decent amount of armor pen, so that is actually very useful. You can also take sentry turrets if you just need more damage on your team. If you're in like a 4 squad and everyone else is taking health and armor and ammo and all that stuff, then you might not need a 4th one, so you can get away with just taking turrets if you want them. It is very skill expensive to take them. Um, but like if you're not spending anything on the other ones, then you have the spare skills anyway. So yeah, you can take those for just more damage and some distractions because cops will spend time trying to hit the turrets instead of hitting you, which is very nice. Uh, I don't I don't do stealth. I don't like stealth. So yeah. Subscribe.